From Washington, this is VOA News. I'm Jonathan Jones reporting. President Trump is to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping early Thursday, a meeting in which Trump has said he intends to press Xi to push North Korea to abandon its nuclear program. Trump arrived in Beijing on Wednesday. It's his first visit as president to China, North Korea's closest ally. Trump is expected to call on China to expel North Korean workers from the country and otherwise eliminate some of its other dealings with Pyongyang. The talks between Trump and Xi will also deal with trade, a touchy subject since Trump has long complained about the trade deficit between the two countries. President Trump could also make a determination on whether the United States will designate North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism before the end of his visit to China. The Navy will conduct a joint exercise with 3 aircraft carriers in the Western Pacific for the first time in a decade. The USS Ronald Reagan, the USS Nimitz, and the USS Theodore Roosevelt strike groups will conduct air defense drills, sea surveillance, replenishments at sea, and other training in international waters from November 11th through the 14th. U.S. Pacific Fleet Commander Admiral Scott Swift said it's a rare opportunity to train with 2 aircraft carriers together, and even rarer to be able to train with 3. This exercise in the Western Pacific is a strong testament to the U.S. Pacific Fleet's unique ability and ironclad commitment to the continued security and stability of the Pacific region. This is VOA News. The war of words between Iran and Saudi Arabia is escalating in the media and on the ground after the weekend launch of a ballistic missile from Yemen that hit near the airport in the Saudi capital Riyadh. The Saudis accuse Iran of arming Yemen's Houthi rebels who fired the missile. Correspondent Edward Uranian reports for VOA from Cairo.
Saudi state TV announced a fresh round of attacks by its coalition forces in Yemen as tensions continue to escalate following the weekend ballistic missile launch by Yemen's Houthi militia group. Saudi military forces say they shot down the missile. Television reports said Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman believes that Iran's involvement in arming the Houthi rebels with ballistic missiles is a direct military aggression against Riyadh. A spokesman for Yemeni military forces loyal to the Saudi-supported government of President Abdurrabbu Mansour Hadi, Colonel Tahir Hamid, told Saudi media he believes Riyadh has the right to respond in the latest missile attack on its soil. Edward Uranian for VOA News, Cairo.
Air pollution levels in New Delhi, India have reached toxic levels, forcing the government to shut schools for the rest of the week. Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal said on Twitter, Delhi has become a gas chamber. Every year this happens during this part of the year. The World Health Organization says the smog has blanketed much of the city in recent days, severely reducing visibility, restricting traffic, and delaying flights. Heavy smog is not unusual for New Delhi as winter approaches. It's usually caused by burning of crop stubble by farmers in neighboring states, among other things. An independent analysis has concluded that the U.S. tax overhaul being advanced by Republican leaders in the U.S. House of Representatives would add $1.7 trillion to the country's debt during the next decade. That's about $259 billion more than previously assumed. The Congressional Budget Office analysis was released Wednesday as lawmakers continue to consider an array of proposals aimed at cutting the country's corporate tax rate from 35% to 20% and trimming tax rates for many but not all middle-class families. The new analysis from the agency could complicate Republican plans for the House to adopt the tax overhaul before the country's Thanksgiving holiday on Thursday, November 23rd. There's more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Jonathan Jones reporting from the